Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Woo! Happy Monday. Welcome to Run It Back. That was nick of time on my end. Chandler P. Lou Will, look at this coordination we've got going on today. Some greens and blues, lovely shades. How are we doing? How was Christmas, Lou?
Christmas was good. The kids were happy. They got everything they deserved and earned. And I was Santa Claus, so I got a few things and some cookies and some milk and whatnot. So it was all good.
Cookies and milk seems a little unfair. Chandler, do you have a good one?
It was, I mean, my daughter at 4 years old right now, she is peak prime Christmas mode. So it was so much fun. And I feel like I miss you guys. I feel like I haven't seen you guys since Vegas.
Well, no, we haven't seen each other since Vegas, so it's going to be real awkward when we see each other on Monday, but we'll get through it.
How was your Christmas, Pete?
Right.
It was amazing. I bought myself everything I wanted. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We got some Spurs to get to. Yeah, I don't know how to tell you guys this, but they've got Oklahoma City Thunder's number 3 games. They've beaten them 3 times in the month of December, which is insane to me. You got the cup and then you got 2 last week. Huge win on Christmas, by the way. Chandler, look, I know there were a lot of skeptics out there, and obviously the Thunder are the best and they are the reigning champs and they've got the MVP and all that good stuff. But what is the deal with them playing San Antonio?
Well, San Antonio, first of all, is a really, really good team, and they match up really well with Oklahoma City. They have the youth, they have the length, and they have that guy, that's Victor Wembanyama, that clogs up the entire paint, makes things very difficult for the way Oklahoma City plays offense, makes things difficult for every team that tries to get in the paint and get easy buckets on you. Wemby doesn't allow that, and the Spurs, it just feels like they kind of want it more when they play against OKC. Like they're taking this rivalry a bit more intense, and it just feels like the games are being wanted more by them than OKC. They're chasing OKC. OKC has been to the top. They have won a championship. SGA, they have all-stars. They have MVPs. Like, it feels to me like when they play, the Spurs are chasing them and they want it a little bit more. Look, OKC is still having an unbelievable season, and I hope we see these teams in the playoffs because these are 2 of the brightest futures in the league, and they're 2 of the current best teams in the league. So we're lucky that they're so young and still can be so much better. But it's just a great matchup all across the board, 1 through 5. San Antonio presents them some challenges. So OKC is definitely going to have to adjust when they play them next, because San Antonio can go just as deep. They're just as long. They have an MVP type player in Wemby, and defensively they're just as good, if not better. So it's a tough matchup for OKC, but I really look forward to a 7-game series with these 2 teams play.
Yeah, listen, I think both of y'all are spot on. I think this is a matchup that's going to be problematic for OKC. I don't think they're a better defensive team. I think they have one guy and they have a group of guys that makes it difficult to play the way that OKC plays. We know that they're a team that likes to attack the basket, likes to get out and use that as a weapon to kick it out to shooters. When you can't get in the lane, that messes up your entire game plan and the way that you like to play. And San Antonio in a 7-5 Wemby, that creates a big-time problem for OKC moving forward. One of the things that Chandler and I know, though, when you beat a team like this and you have their number, that doesn't necessarily equate to success in the postseason. You know, like, can they still beat OKC in a 7-game series? Will they even be matched up with OKC in a 7-game series? Like, if they're going to stay 1-2, both of these teams are going to have to go through 2 rounds before they even run into each other. You know, so that's going to be something that both of these teams got to realize as well. But at this moment right now, in the month of December, going into January, the Spurs were a better basketball team than OKC, and they showed that by beating them 3 times. Now, what does that look like down the line? Like we said, in postseason, and how the season goes, that remains to be seen. But if I'm the team that's 0-3 against this team, and I'm still the defending champion, and I still feel like I'm a better basketball team, I'm still encouraged going into the postseason if I have to match up with this team, because they're going to have to beat us 4 out of 7 times in a series, and I still like my chances if I'm the defending champs.
Mm-hmm. The best part about all this is they still play each other 2 more times, once in January, once in February.
Right, because the
Coming up.
Cup
So
doesn't count. Oh yeah.
it's the gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I will say this. SGA after that Christmas Day game, and he looks so stylish, by the way. It's like a permanent visual in my brain. But he said that the Spurs are better, and he basically said, look, when you lose to a team 3 times, that's the better team. Jalen Williams also, like you said, Chandler mentioned that 7'5" dude who takes up a whole bunch of space on the floor. We know that the ceiling for Oklahoma City, I mean, we already have called them the beginning of a dynasty. Like, this looks like what is about to happen. But ceiling-wise, Lou, for the Spurs, I get asked a lot about the Spurs around these parts, and all I keep saying is I think they're way ahead of schedule, because in our minds we had a schedule. Like, what is their ceiling to you?
I think they'll be in the mix. I still feel like it's OKC by a large margin. I really feel like OKC has created a lot of separation. But with that, that's going to create challenges. That's going to create teams wanting to beat you, wanting to unseat you as the champion. And the Spurs are doing a great job of putting themselves in that conversation. Like, again, we talk about being healthy, maintaining the team as a whole. The Spurs have shown that they can have guys out of the lineup and they can continue on. OKC has shown they can have guys out of the lineup and they can continue on, and both of these teams can be successful. Now, what does that look like as far as what players are healthy? That's going to be something that remains to be seen. But right now, give them guys credit. Like Shea just gave them credit. Jalen just gave them credit. They're knocking on the door. They want in, and they want to be a part of that. They want to disrupt your dynasty. So I like the fact that OKC is showing these guys their proper respects and saying, hey, look, right now they're a better basketball team than us. And that's a great thing. That's humility to me. Like that's a team that's humble enough to say, hey, we're still working on some things. And because we had success last year and because we are champions from last year, that doesn't carry over. This year is presenting itself with some new obstacles for them. And listen, San Antonio is a big obstacle for them to be able to conquer right now. So I like the fact that they're giving them their respects, but by no means are they backing down. So to me, what that means for the Spurs is they're an up-and-coming team, but they still got to prove it, and they still got to go through other teams to get there.
Yeah, I like when you say ahead of schedule, because they are. And I think everybody knew they'd be competitive. I think everybody knew they'd be really fun to watch. They'd be an explosive team. We knew adding Harper to Fox and to Castle, they're going to have a dynamic backcourt mixed with Victor Wembanyama, sprinkled in with some seasoned vets that have been there before. This team has a little bit of everything. So when I say ahead of schedule, like, I didn't think they'd be a 2 seed, though. I didn't think they'd be ahead of the Nuggets. I didn't think they'd be ahead of the Rockets with that much youth and Wemby kind of being out of the lineup a little bit, and them still winning basketball games with Wemby out, kind of showing that they're still capable. Now, I think they're a good team without him. I don't think they're a contender without him, and that's obviously going to come down to his health and can he stay on the floor. But this team is on the rise, but they're more so on the rise. Like, they're here, and I feel like before the season, every team is chasing Oklahoma City, including the Eastern Conference team. Like that's the team to beat. That is the team that's set up for the future. Those are the returning champs. Every team is chasing them. I didn't think San Antonio would be this close, 31 games into the season, knocking them off 3 times already. I didn't think they'd have this much progress this early. But like Lou said, beating a team already 3 times and having to play them 2 more times and having to beat them 4 times in a playoff series, that's a tall task.
It's a lot. I know at some point you're due. It's all right. Way ahead of schedule. Chandler, I know we know Wemby's been coming off the bench, has yet to play that 30-minute mark, has not reached it quite yet. And we also know they're going to be overly cautious. So do you have red flags as far as Wemby's concerned on how this is being handled, or is this just we're good with it?
No, I think they have to do it. When you have a guy like that we've never seen before with that type of build and body type, the worst case scenario is for him to have a permanent, substantial injury where he is out and he misses a lot of time. So I got no worries with this. I love the fact that they were open to bringing him off the bench to kind of space out his minutes, to allow him the opportunity to be in at the end of the game. You're giving these other guys valuable playing time that maybe they wouldn't get with him playing 30, 35 minutes. So guys are getting their feet wet and they're getting more comfortable. That's going to do wonders come a playoff series and for a young team. So I'm not concerned. I'm concerned just generally and overall, just hoping and knocking on wood that he stays healthy, because he's got a chance to be one of the all-time greats. But I have no problem with how they're handling it right now. It's working. He's getting him back into shape. And I think, again, you just have to be extra cautious when it comes to a build and a body type like that, because we've never seen it before. So who are we to judge on how they're handling it? So I got no problem with it, and it's working. Again, they're 23-8, they're the 2 seed with this guy missing some time, and you don't want to see him go down the Zion, Joel Embiid type road. So I think early on you got to be extremely cautious, which they're doing.
It's trendy right now. Stars coming off the bench. It's very in. Look, SGA, there are not enough words, right, to describe sort of who he is and what he's done so far, Lou. But if we were to take a collective of the guards, the Thunder guards and the Spurs guards, which of those groups are you taking?
I still gotta take the Thunder guards. I gotta take the guys that got me there already and were successful. I still have to take those young guys over the Spurs, but give them a lot of credit. I like what Vassell has been able to do. I like what Castle has been able to do. De'Aaron Fox is playing like an all-star. He's playing like himself. Like everybody keeps trying to make De'Aaron Fox some glorified role player. No, he's an all-star caliber player, and he was once one of the best players in the league, and not only in the league, but for Sacramento, he was the best player on that team. I like Champagnie coming off the bench. I like a lot of pieces that the Spurs have, but when you still look at what OKC has been able to accomplish and what they've been able to do, different roles and how these guys play, I still got to give that edge to OKC. Now, granted, like we're beating a dead horse at this point. They've conquered this matchup right now, 3-0 in 1 month, and in the span of 2 weeks. Got to give a team a lot of credit. But when you start adding in the other 29 teams that they got to compete against, I still like OKC and how they match up with other teams around the league. So I'm going to still give them the edge.
Yeah, I have so much respect for Fox and Castle and Harper, and they're knocking on the door. But we're talking MVP, SGA, talking all defensive, all-star, Jalen Williams. We haven't even talked about AJ Mitchell, who's kind of probably the most improved player in the NBA this year. He's averaging 14 points. And then you got Isaiah Joe, Caruso, Dort. So like all their guards, the depth is just unmatched. But it starts with those two guys, Jalen Williams and SGA. That's the best backcourt in the NBA. And like I said, even with the teams, everyone's chasing them. Every backcourt wants to be like SGA and Jalen Williams because they do it on both sides of the floor. They're both so clutch. They can get to the basket. They're athletic. They're team guys and they're winners. So I love the Spurs guards. I think they have so many assets and they have so many different, ways they can go, whether they want to keep growing these guys together. They want to explore the trademark with these guys. They're in an unbelievable shape, but OKC's backcourt's better.
I love the Spurs guards. I think this is so exciting. They're just so fun to watch. I genuinely have joy.
Really?
Let's talk a little Chet. Let's get psychological. I think we can all be therapists if we try really hard. Chandler, Chet's only averaging about 11.3 against the Spurs this season. We've already sort of gone down the road. He says that he and Wemby have never really spoken. That rivalry is happening. I don't care what anybody says. Is there a possibility that Wemby's a little in his head at the moment?
I think a little bit. I also just think Wemby's an unbelievable player and he's tough to go up against. And the idea that Chet is even saying he's never talked to him, like there's certain guys that I had in the same draft class that I used to compete against that I never really talked to, but there's still some sort of relationship, some sort of banter, some sort of, mutual respect or you know what I mean? So the fact that he even said that kind of proves to me that there is a little bit something here that they don't even have, the courtesy to say hello to each other or any sort of small talk, which I love and I have no problem with. I think it's great for the league. I think it's great for the sport. But I definitely think Wemby's winning this battle. Obviously, the team is winning. The team's success is winning. If this is going to be a rivalry, Chet needs to start having some big-time games. And OKC's got to win some of these games, but I think it's awesome, and I love it. Obviously, they're both 7 foot tall unicorns that can handle the ball and score. They're both unbelievably defensively. So I love the rivalry, and I do think Wemby is at least embracing it maybe a little bit more than Chet. Like, if that makes sense.
I think it's man-made. I think this thing is man-made.
Yeah,
listen, okay, they're both 7-footers, and they came out back-to-back years or whatever, and Chet was hurt. Other than that, that's where it ends for me. Like the real rivalry, it's levels to this conversation. The real rivalry to me is going to be SGA and Wemby. Those are the MVP candidates. Why would an MVP candidate have a rivalry with a guy that's not in that conversation? I think there's a lot of levels and a lot of layers to these conversations, and I think Wemby has graduated from that conversation of a rivalry with Chet. I think it was a rivalry based on who was going to be rookie of the year, or who's going to be the best 7-footer, the new 7-foot guy to come out. Other than that, what are the comparisons? I don't know what are the comparisons other than those two things. So I don't even think this is a thing. Like, I don't think this is even sexy enough for us to continue to even talk about or keep going. Like, it doesn't get the people going. This Wemby and Chet thing.
I don't know. Here's why, Lou, because I think, look, no one's ever going to admit to any of this, but if we truth serumed everybody out, I bet there's a part of Chet that's a little angry that his rookie year was ruined by injury, and so he didn't get that whole year of shine.
And it's over.
True.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of the things that mattered between them two, the similarities, they both have graduated from that. Since then, Chet has become an NBA champion, and since then, Wemby has become an MVP candidate. Those guys are on different levels of their careers, and neither one of those matchups makes us want to watch TV. Like, we're not watching to see Chet versus Wemby. We're watching Wemby versus SGA. We're watching the Spurs as a collective versus the OKC collective. I don't think we're watching this matchup. And with all due respect to Chet, with what Wemby has been able to do, he deserves to be in a better position individually as Chet, because he is the best player on his team. Chet is not. So I don't know if this is a rivalry that we can continue on, in my personal opinion.
Well, I mean, Wemby did say in French there is no rivalry between the two, so I have to listen to what he said. Let's talk some Lakers. This is a very different story here. Look, we know they started the season hot, I should say. They got a nice win last night against the Kings, but in the last 11 games, they've gone 5-6, 9-5 with LeBron back. JJ Redick had some thoughts. Oh, yes, he did, about what's been going wrong after their huge loss to the Rockets on Christmas. Here he is. Or not.
Yeah, the two words of the day were effort and execution. And, I feel like when we've done both of those things at a high level, we've been a good basketball team. When we haven't, we're a terrible basketball team. And tonight we were a terrible basketball team. And that started legitimately right away. Back to what I said the other night, it's a matter of making the choice. And too often we have guys that don't want to make that choice. And it's pretty consistent who those guys are. And so Saturday's practice, I told the guys, it's going to be uncomfortable. The meeting is going to be uncomfortable. I'm not doing another 53 games like this.
Okay, Chandler.
I used to hate when coach would threaten like an ankle tape type. I used to hate that. But then at the end of the day, well, what you think Luka's going to be uncomfortable? You think these guys at this point in their career are going to be uncomfortable? I think that's more for like a Charlotte team, a younger team that's really struggling, like to try and punk them and scare them, threatening with like a hard practice. Again, I think he's trying to get motivation. I think he's trying to get them to see his message but that's the NBA, man. It's half effort. It's energy and effort and just buying into the coaches and the team schemes. And that is half the battle. So I agree with him with that. Playing hard can get you some wins in this league. It's sad enough to say, but it's true. And when they don't have that energy and effort, they're not as deep and not as talented as some of these other teams to kind of just get by. So I get his message, but I don't know if that message is received well or really moves the needle for that locker room in LA.
Yeah, listen, I'm agreeing with you on this one, Chandler. Like, I love the fight, JJ, and I love the intensity, but you got to read the room. You got to look at the group that you have and the personality of the group that you have. Like, you have two mega stars on your team, and then you have guys that are probably going to be susceptible to listening to them just as equally as they're going to listen to you. So that's going to be something. Like, Aiden made a comment after that he was like, and y'all bought that? Like, and y'all bought stock in him saying these things? Because look, at the end of the day, JJ said he's not going to do another 53 games like this, but he also has to prepare for those 53 games. You're going to leave your legs and your energy and that effort that you're talking about on the practice court to prove a point to your guys, or are you going to tighten some things up and continue to move on with the schedule and have a nice conversation and try to get these guys to be on the same page? Like, if they want it, they're going to go out and get it. The reality of it is, with pros, you can only talk us into so much. These guys got to want it. He made a great point in saying that. These guys got to want it. They got to want to be a better basketball team. But when you start threatening them, that's when you're going to kind of get some pushback, especially when it comes to practice. Like, if you don't think Luka got some nagging things that he can't say, yo, I'm going to sit this one out. especially LeBron James at his age. LeBron probably can practice whenever he wants to practice. You know, you got other veteran guys on that team that deserves that type of respect and leeway as well. And so I don't love the messaging that's coming out of LA. I still think they got an opportunity to be a great basketball team. They're in a slide right now, but just the tone and the context of some of these things that's coming out from player to coach, it doesn't look good.
Ayton saying that, I wonder how that went over, by the way, just because
Right.
maybe from Luka, maybe from LeBron, but I don't know if Ayton should say that out loud quite yet. About the team currently, there's more. JJ had some more stuff to say.
You know, I think since we've gotten Braun back, we haven't been as organized offensively, too many random possessions. So, you know, that's on me. So it's those three things, you know, defensive clarity, role clarity, and offensive organization.
Ooh, those are some buzzwords. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I get it right. Defensive clarity, role clarity, and offensive organization. Oh, this is why I can't work in an office. My brain just turned off, Lou. Talk to me.
Yeah.
How critical are these three things?
Listen, once upon a time, I played on the Lakers, and Kobe Bryant wasn't practicing. He was dealing with a bunch of injuries, and obviously he was at the end of his career, and so he was dealing with a bunch of different things. And he decided he wanted to play, which he has every right to play. And we were going over the game plan, and we were going over something that we were working on for about 3 days going into a matchup. And Kobe walked in and said, "Nah, we're not doing that. We're going to do it this way." And when you have guys that are at that level, that are champions, and that their teammates can look at them and say, "I trust and believe in this guy," he's going to change some things, and he's probably going to do it a way that he sees fit on that basketball court. So I didn't look at this as much of a shot at LeBron, but basically JJ saying he might change some things. He might call some audibles out on the floor, and it may not necessarily work for us in the way that we're playing. But I didn't take this as a direct shot at LeBron, because I've been in these situations with players and with coaches where a coach might say, "Hey, listen, we're switching everything," and then we go out on the floor, and the best player is going to say, "No, we're not going to switch. I'm going to continue my matchup. I'm going to stay on my matchup, so you fight through." And if you get burned on a few of those possessions, that is the player's fault. But at the end of the day, the coach is right. We might have some random play going on the offensive end, because these guys are afforded the leeway to change up some things and call audibles and do what they see fit on the floor. The problem with this is, for the Lakers, this hasn't been working, so it's become a thing to talk about. But when it does work, it goes unnoticed and it goes swept under the rug. And so, like I said again, I didn't see this as a direct shot at LeBron James. But when you have that caliber of guy, he gonna go out there, he gonna change some things, and it might piss you off. And it looks like it pissed JJ off at this time.
Yeah, Lou nailed it there. LeBron has that clout. He's got that respect. He probably has more ear of a player than JJ Redick does at this point of his career. That's one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time. I think his words almost carry more weight than the coaching staff at this point. And I feel like that's normal when you have that sort of respect around the league and in the locker room. And I also didn't take it as a shot. I think honestly, when you do have the guy like that with that kind of power and weight, you also, your guys try and get him to fit in. You try and work him in, and now you're all of a sudden going outside the box. You're doing things that's not necessarily what the coach wants and executing the way you want, because you're also trying to make the big dog happy, which is LeBron James. So I think it can cause a little stagnant in the offense. You can kind of break the play off a little bit to kind of cater towards what you think LeBron needs or might want on each possession. But I didn't take this like a shot, and he's right. You have to know your role, especially on the Lakers. When you have a guy like Luka and a guy like LeBron and a guy like Austin Reeves, who's having the season he's having, you have to have roles, and you have to embrace those roles, and you have to do it consistently every single night. And each night it might call for something different, whether who's in the game, who's out of the game, who's healthy, who's not. But especially with this team, there is a clear-cut pecking order, and you have to know your role, and you have to embrace it. And then obviously you just want some offensive execution, guys in the right spot, guys, with the right counter, the right situation every single possession, because they're key, and there are a lot of wasted possessions with this offense. So I understand what he's saying, and I didn't take this as a shot to LeBron. I think a lot of guys just try and please him more so than JJ Redick, if that makes sense.
Well, we will get to Luka. We will get to Austin Reeves, but I just really quickly on the LeBron thing. Maybe that wasn't a shot from JJ to LeBron, but in that Houston game, and I know we love plus minus, minus 33 though. Just when it's a big number, I feel like it's at least worth a mention. That's what LeBron was in that particular game. And after that game, fans, local media, like they're starting to officially turn on LeBron. So I'm wondering, is this just sort of reactionary, Chandler, or does it feel like perhaps sort of the stay is almost over for LeBron in Los Angeles?
I don't see it that way. I see a team that's kind of been, guys in and out of the lineup and a tough Western Conference. And if the season ended right now, they have home court advantage and they're a 4 seed in this deep loaded conference. I don't think this is the worst situation. Obviously, he hasn't played every game too. He's only played 14 games. Like you gotta be patient with a guy like this at his time of his career. Austin Reeves started off exploding. Now he's dealing with an injury and he's kind of tapered off a little bit. But this team is in fine shape, and I don't think I think we're putting too much into the LeBron stock at this point. And I remember the beginning of the season we were talking about 1, 2, or 3 seeds, and I said that he'll probably be a 2 or 3 option on the team. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a shot at him. He's 40 plus years old. That is normal. That they are in a world of hurt if he's the 1 or 2 option on this team. That's not like an insult. That is a fact. So I think you have to take LeBron for what he is right now. He's going to have a lot of impact on this team. He's going to have huge games where he can still go and get 35, 40, 50 points in a night. He is that good still when he's on the floor, but you have to take him for who he is right now, and that's still very valuable. He still can be that point forward kind of guy. He can still be that leader. He still leaves it all out there defensively too. So I haven't really seen a slowdown of him when he's on the court, maybe a little bit defensively, but I think this team is there's no reason to panic. This team is in a fine situation for everything that they've been through so far.
And Chandler, let me just add a little tidbit to that. We're also talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and the #1 media spot. Well, next to New York, those two teams are going to be talked about and scrutinized and criticized about every single little thing that goes wrong. This is what they are. This is what they do. At the end of the day, we're talking about a 4th place team in the West, and they ain't going nowhere. They're not going nowhere. They're going to continue to be in that conversation unless something drastic happens. And so I like the fact that they're kind of in panic mode because they don't want this thing to kind of get out of their control, where you allow a Minnesota or one of those teams to get in the conversation of having home court advantage. But right now, they're still playing really good basketball. They're 20-10 and they're fourth in the West. Every team is going to go through their ups and downs, and it's no different for the Lakers. So, as much as we're making a conversation about is this LeBron's final year and JJ's messaging, this is still a basketball team that's in a very good position.
I mean, a couple dozen other teams would love to have these types of problems, but Lou, you said Absolutely. It. They're Los Angeles, like with a different perspective. We're going to take a very quick break. On the other side, we've got more Run It Back.
Run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Man, we had a whole lot of pearl clutching over the weekend over this moment right here. That is Giannis. Nice little windmill dunk. Vooch not real happy with it either because of the, quote, unwritten rules, Lou. Oh, hope you could tell I'm mocking this. What do you think? Is this... Obviously, it's a little heated and both sides sort of get into it, but what did you make of the dunk and why do we care?
Yeah, you know what? My brother Gilbert Arenas made a great point on his Instagram yesterday. Like, why is this a one-sided thing? Why does the losing team gets to play hard until the buzzer, but the team that's winning, we're supposed to just hold the ball and not do anything and not play basketball? But if I'm holding that ball and you steal it out of my hand and go get a cheap layup, it's cool for you to do that, but it's not cool for me to continue to compete if I'm playing. I hate this unwritten rule. I think we should unwrite this unwritten rule and get rid of it and not abide by it. And let guys play to the buzzer, whether they're winning or losing. Especially like if a losing team is saying, hey, white flag, cool. If the winning team is saying white flag, cool. But if there's still one team that's playing hard, I deserve to have a shot to play hard as well. I don't care if I'm winning or losing. Now, here's my beef. Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks, they have a history of having a problem with guys doing these type of things at the end of games. Am I wrong, Chandler? Am I wrong for saying that? Like, they've had a history of mix-ups and dust-ups at the end of games because of things like this when they're on the opposite side of it. So I see a little hypocrisy here with the messaging and what happened there in Chicago. But listen, I don't mind Giannis dunking the basketball. I also don't mind the Chicago Bulls having a problem with it. However, it's going to lead to some crazy things now. If you go down there and try to windmill the basketball, I am well within my right to hack the hell out of you, and you're going to have to deal with it if I go down and play some basketball. And so that's my whole opinion about this thing. I hate the unwritten rule, but I also hate how some guys pick and choose when they want to be outraged about this. Like, if you don't want me to style on you, stop me from styling on you. Stop me from styling on you.
It's such a loser mentality. Like, I don't get it, Chandler.
That's what I was gonna say is Giannis knows damn well if someone did this to him down 10 with 3 seconds left in the game on his home court, you know you would have a problem with it. So I understand. I don't really love the rule, but there is a level of sportsmanship and class that you should have at the end of the game if you're the winning team. That's just how it's been for years. That's how it'll probably always be. And I know that Giannis would have beef with this if this were the opposites and the roles were reversed.
He's had beef with teams about situations like this.
That's where it's like, okay, enough. And you're
maybe
right.
he's changed his mind. Does he have the right to change his mind?
And
How about that?
Also, Chicago doesn't give a damn about their season failures and their up and down season. And I know he's trying to say this is where we are as a team, and half the guys won't be here, and we got to play to the end of the whistle. That's their problem. That's not Chicago's problem. They could care less about how their season's going. So, if you're going to do this, like Lou said, no problem, but be prepared for there to be some issues. And next time we play you, you come down the lane. Like, I'm not going to forget you dancing on my grave at the end of the last game. I will not. So it goes both ways. And Milwaukee has been on the other side of this, and they weren't stoked. So just be careful and tread lightly of how you handle this, because tonight, whenever they play next, they could be on the other side.
Like, Chandler, imagine he has that ball right there and somebody decides to challenge this and he gets hacked. He's going to have a real problem with this, but you did it.
Awesome. That would have been awesome if that happened.
I think it was Kevin Herter. Someone was there.
Herter's in there.
He has every right to go and hawk him down and foul the shit out of him if he does this. No problem.
Why didn't he?
And I would have, because he probably couldn't catch him because it was Giannis.
Well,
but I have no problem with that either. If you're going to go and do that and try and punk me and embarrass me when the game's already over, I am going to foul the shit out of you if I have an opportunity.
Hockey memory, like don't forget, or even a pitcher. Like, I feel like this, you just remember it for the next time. But yeah, Chandler, you sort of summed up a little bit of what Giannis had to say, because obviously he talked about this one after the game. Here he is.
Are we 11th in the East or 12? 11. Yeah, just got to keep finding our identity. And if that is to, get a little bit of, scrappy at the end, so be it. Like, we're not the champs. Like, why should we have, play the clock out and have respect and fair play? Like, we're fighting for our lives right now. This is real talk. I've been 13 years in the league. If we keep on losing, brother, there's probably half of the team not going to be here. We're not going to make the playoffs. Like, I really don't care.
Half the team, which is him, that's half, won't be there. So let me ask you this, Lou.
I'm buying this.
What do you, I know, go ahead, because he's
I'm
talking a lot lately. Getting a lot of Giannis.
I'm not buying. And I gotta be honest, if you've looked at running back for like the past 6 weeks, it probably looks like I've been very critical of Giannis. The reality is he's giving me the stuff to talk about. Like, I love Giannis and I love how he competes, but I can't buy this. Again, they've had mix-ups about teams doing this to them. They've had mix-ups about game balls and all of these things at the end of games. Like, it can't be just when it's for you. It can't. And he said it. He's been in the league over a decade now. He knows how these things work. That dunk right there didn't energize them to go from the 11th to compete for the 7th. They were going to do that regardless, and they should. If not, that dunk definitely didn't do it. That didn't push them over the edge of them trying to be a better and competitive basketball team to play to the buzzer. So I'm just not buying the explanation. I really would have just accepted him saying, I don't know, I wanted to dunk the basketball, so what? Who gonna do something about it? I would have enjoyed that more than him trying to tell me you're competing to the buzzer and we're trying to be like, come on, don't sell me that.
Yeah, like I don't think the guys in like Ryan Rollins isn't going to see that dunk and be like, you know what, guys, let's roll this over to next game. That intensity and like that dunk had nothing to do with their team, had nothing to do with their season. That dunk was just direct disrespectful shot to the current team they were playing, Chicago Bulls, and that's fine. I got no problem with that. Just remember when it happens to you that put your guns away because this will happen. You're going to lose a lot more games this year where you could be in this situation. So I'm with Lou here. I don't think the team's going to rally around this last second dunk when the game was already over. They had already won the game. This means nothing. And if this was him trying to prove a point that, look, this is the team we got to be. We got to play till the buzzer sounds and we got to play to the very last whistle. I'm not rolling because the game was already over and there's a level of sportsmanship and class and respect that you should have in that situation because it will come back around real quick.
I do love that geographically, sports-wise, like these are two areas of the country that don't care for each other. I just think that's fun anyways. But he had more to say because he was asked whether or not he wants to be a Buck. It's going to happen every day, Giannis. Here he is.
Yeah, don't ask me that question. I'm here. It's disrespectful towards myself and my teammate. I wear that jersey every single day. It's disrespectful towards the organization, my coaching staff, myself, and all the people that work hard for me to come out here and say, I don't want to be here. Don't ask me that question. I'm here. I'm putting on the jersey. And as long as I'm here, I'm going to give everything I have, even in the last second of the game.
See, now I'm confused.
Go ahead. Talk to me. We're getting mixed signals, aren't we?
Didn't he say last week he was the hottest chick of the game and almost loved the attention?
Hottest.
Now it's disrespectful to ask that question when the same question last week was flattering.
Guys,
like, this is
don't you change your minds daily?
Chandler,
come on, y'all.
This summer he did the stream with I Show Speed, and he said everybody's saying I should go to New York. What do you think? He started these conversations. That's all I'm saying, Giannis.
Love it.
You got to give us some consistent, brother. Like, you all over the place right now. And maybe you are the hottest chick in the game with a lot of attention on you, and you're probably not used to it. So you're probably not used to this type of attention. So probably just shut it down and just keep it basketball. But right now, the messaging is all over the place.
Yeah, that's my only issue is there's no consistency with what he's doing and what he's saying. That's where it's a little gray area for me. Where does he love the attention? Is he saying like kind of funny, humorous stuff to the media? He's the hottest chick in the game, but then he wanted to bite this reporter's head off for asking the same question he was just flattered about last week and all summer and all season long. I get it's a weird situation. He's one of the best NBA players in the NBA, and he's currently constantly in trade talks. And does he want to be there? Does he not want to be there? And most importantly, their team is losing. So that can all boil up. That can be frustrating. But I feel like he's all over the place with his message and his delivery and his attitude towards the season of whether he wants to be there or not. It's just kind of mixed reviews. So I don't know what to think of it because it's something different every single time.
It's like dating a mood shapeshifter. And I just don't know. I don't know what's happening from hour to hour. And it's an exciting ride, you guys. We're going to take a quick break. Some of you buying that on the other side.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Oh, I love it. We got some power rankings. Why not MVP? Chandler, why don't you take this bad boy away?
All right. I feel like we cannot go wrong with any of these guys. These guys are all having great years and great seasons, but at number 5, I got Luka Doncic. I think his numbers are insane. First of all, 33.7, 8. Like if their team was in the OKC type of position or a little bit in a 1 or 2 seed, I think obviously his number would be closer to 2 or 3 right now. But he's going to put up numbers. He's going to play a lot of minutes when he is healthy. He is one of the most dominant players offensively in the NBA. And those numbers, again, if his team continues to win games, he is going to be there and he's going to continue to rise in the MVP rankings. And I'd love to see him get his first one. I just don't know if it's this year, but those numbers are unbelievable. So I got Luka at number 5.
Yep, and that's a great start, Chandler. At number 4, we got to go with Victor Wembanyama. Listen, you can't have an MVP candidate coming off the bench. The numbers are down, the minutes are down, and we understand why. This is a long play for the San Antonio Spurs, but as far as this MVP race go, you still got other guys that are playing big minutes and putting up big-time numbers. So unfortunately, Victor slid a little bit. We had him like in the 2-3 spot early on in this season. But right now we got him at 4th. Like I said, he's dealing with some knick-knack injuries, dealing with some stuff that can turn into from knick-knack to some serious injuries. So right now we got him at number 4, averaging about 24 and 11, but he's still coming off the bench. The minutes are down. So that's where we're going to go with number 4, Victor Wembanyama.
This is where I don't know like how you vote, right? Because if you're looking at these guys and the next guy we're going to talk about too, if you take him off his team, I think their team is completely different. Victor Wembanyama impacts both sides of the ball more so, I think, than any of these other guys too. So who knows how it goes into, but Victor 4, but the way he impacts defensively is unreal. Number 3, Cade Cunningham. I think we all know who 1 and 2 are, but this guy, like I just said, if you take him off the Pistons this year, they are a completely different team, more so than any of the other 4 guys. I think they'll still be solid. The Detroit Pistons would really, really struggle. This guy's one of the best closers in the league, big guard, makes everyone around him better. He knows when to defer. He knows when to be aggressive. He can get downhill. And again, those numbers are nothing to slouch at. We're just so used to these just numbers that are off the charts that these don't really move us that much. But this kid's a stud. He's probably going to win the Clutch Player of the Year, put the ball in his hands. And this team just basically plays hard, defend, and put the ball in Cade Cunningham's hand at the end of the game, and usually he closes it out. And they're such a surprise team with their success in that 1 or 2 seed all season long. You got to look at Cade Cunningham as a real option here to win MVP. It's just tough with these top 2 dogs.
And you know what else? I really like Cade to even improve his position in this MVP conversation if Detroit continues to move on. But at number 2, this might surprise some people, but it don't necessarily surprise me. At the 2 spot, you got SGA. Still doing his thing, the reigning MVP, the reigning NBA champion, but he's at that 2 spot now. OKC as a team, as a collective, and him being ahead of that snake, they're playing really good basketball, and they're still poised to be probably in the conversation of being in the NBA Finals. But at number 1, you know what's going on. That's the guy that he's going to be competing with. And so when you start talking about guys with big-time triple-doubles, you can't ignore those numbers. And for that reason, I got SGA at number 2. And we can talk about the obvious number 1 at this point. Take it away, Shane.
Yeah, and I think if they didn't go on this little skid, where I think we're losing our minds a little bit on this skid, they've lost 3 games, but I think he has a chance to go number 1, and we're talking about the historic season. Are they going to break the record? I don't feel like people think they are now, which is crazy because
I told you they were going to be right under it. They were going to be right under it.
And their schedule was super light to start the season. And I remember we looked at the schedule and we said, what teams are going to give them trouble? And San Antonio was the only one in sight that we thought that would beat them. And they are, but he's going to be right there. Number 1 is the best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic. His numbers are insane. The impact that he has on this team. I mean, look at that field goal percentage from the way he plays some of the big games. He had the 56 and 16 and 15 game against the T-Wolves. He had 55 and 12 and 6 against the Clippers. He is the most versatile player in the NBA. And there's some fun numbers this year that it's been going viral a little bit. His points per game is higher than Shaq's best season. His rebounds per game is higher than Karl Malone's best season. His assists are higher than Jason Kidd's highest season. His field goal percentage that we just talked about is higher than Tim Duncan's best season. And the PPM and the PER, the PER, if you will, are the highest ever. So it's
of all time.
Somehow continues to still break records and make history, and it's so fun to watch. And he impacts the game not as much defensively as Wemby, but man, offensively, this guy is a point center that can do it all, and he keeps getting better somehow. So number 1 for me is Jokic, but it's also SGA's right there to kind of bring it back in his favor.
Those numbers are stupid, so stupid. We'll take a quick break or run it back on the other side. Well done, guys.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
We got a whole bunch of you buying that, so we're going to try to get to as many as possible. Lou, you're up first. Former coach Sam Mitchell, shout out, said that LeBron's no longer a number 1 option. Any team he would play on, any team, he'd be the number 3 option and wouldn't even be the number 1 option on the Wizards. Lou, are you buying that? And by the way, no disrespect, Wizards. I didn't mean to say it so shocked, but go on.
I mean, I'm not buying any team. He would definitely be the number 1 option on the Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
And few other teams out there. As far as where he is in his career and wanting to compete for championships still and still having an opportunity to add to that, he won't be the number one option. But saying any team is kind of crazy. No matter what, in some of these small markets and some of these places, it's fantasy land us talking about it that he will never be at. But there's a few teams out there that he could still be the number one option on. So I'm not buying that.
Yeah, I was rolling with this till the end there. It just seemed like it got a little bit hateful.
Sure.
It took a turn there. He's 40 years old. Like, I don't know if this is supposed to be an insult or if they I don't understand this, but I would take him as a number one option this season right now on a couple of teams. But this is no surprise. We mentioned this year. When he comes back, is he the 1, 2, or 3 option? I don't think it matters, first of all, because he's going to have impact regardless. But this isn't a hot take to me. He's 40 years old. I don't find this insulting at all, but it's just he would be a number one option on certain teams, but not the Lakers.
It's just so specific. All right, Chandler, you're up first on this one. Jeff Teague said the Christmas game showed him that the league no longer belongs to the old dudes, the LeBrons, the Stephs, the KDs. It's Ant, Jokic, and Wemby's time. I like that he had those 3, Chandler. Are you buying that those are the 3 faces of the league?
Yeah, and I think they've been now for a year or 2 years, maybe even. Like, it's been a kind of a shift, and there's so much young talent. And it's weird he didn't say SGA, who's the MVP, but
I thought so too.
It's definitely there's this shift, and it's weird for me too, and probably Lou, like the James Hardens, KD's, LeBron, Steph, Chris Paul, Westbrook. It's like those guys that we competed against and played against our whole career. They're now kind of on their way out, and there's this new wave of young talent, which I think is great. The Cooper Flags, the Devin Booker is still around, Jason Tatum, Brown, Jalen Williams. Like, there's so many young guys. Jalen Brunson's right there. It's kind of his turn. So I agree with this fully. It's just the first person I would say is probably SGA.
Yeah, I don't think he left SGA out, but I know the point that he was trying to make, and he makes a great point. A lot of these guys are my peers, and I've been doing TV for 3 years. I'm trying to figure out how they still playing basketball. So yeah, it's been a changing of the guard. Only question I would ask JT is what took you so long to realize this?
He needed the Christmas Day games.
This ain't new this year. It's been
this has been a thing for a couple years.
Sometimes you need. So look, their legacy is a reason, right? We're going to see at All-Star how many people are ready to move on. All right, Lou, this one can't wait. Rich Paul on his podcast says he wants MJ, Michael Jordan, taking the last shot over LeBron. What is going on, Lou? Is this getting weird?
Podcasting. He's podcasting.
But it's did they break up? Like, what's happening?
Listen. The Rich wants to be respected as an agent when he's wearing that hat. Damn. And when he's at home having a drink and talking crap with Max on a podcast, he just wants to be respected as his personal opinion on things. And listen, I'm actually buying this. A lot of people always touted Michael Jordan for his killer instinct, who he is as a competitor and wanting to cut your head off. So if it comes down to one play, I want the guy that's going to shoot it over 4 guys and a Michael Jordan than a LeBron James, who will probably make the next play to another guy. Also, an interesting thing, we never give Michael Jordan the credit for giving Steve Kerr the ball to win him a championship as well. But more times than not, Michael Jordan is going to take that last shot. I don't have a problem with this opinion.
I think the message is right here. The messenger is just a little weird. That's
okay.
all. But
we got to get over it.
I get that.
I was told to tell everybody to get over
hats.
It's just weird. It's weird. It's going to get weirder. That's it for us today, but we still have tomorrow. Have a good Monday.
Run it up.